A new online scam regarding potential pets has hit the Omaha scene and what you can do to prevent falling for the trap. Good afternoon, I'm Colt Paulson.
And I'm Gloria Esfahel. Today, we start a 3-part series about homelessness circumstances right here in the Omaha area.
All this and more right here on the Omaha News.
You've always known you were a leader, someone who works.
From the studios of UNO Television, this is the Omaha News, presented by UNO School of Communication.
Omaha has a population of about 2,000 homeless people per night. Some are addicts, runaways, criminals, or simply troubled with a financial situation too big to handle. Today, the Omaha News is beginning a 3-part series on homelessness in the city. And we start with a member of the homeless community. She has asked us to keep her name and identity hidden. Meet Ann, a single mother of 2 and a 4-year college graduate who worked in the industry for 8 years.
Did the right thing. I was paying my student loans. I was doing the right thing, what I was supposed to be doing. I was adulting after college.
Due to outsourcing, in March of 2017, Ann lost her job.
So I continued to pay my bills as normal, pay daycare, pay rent while I was looking for a job. And when the funds ran out, I found myself homeless, literally.
Homelessness is not what we think it is. It has different faces and different stories.
They say in our name, family housing. Usually that's what it is. My family needs housing.
But there's a lot of stigma in asking for help.
A lot of people have preconceived notions on what that is to receive assistance, who that would be.
I kind of just felt like people are homeless because they make certain decisions, they make the wrong decisions. And now I understand that there are people that are homeless because of circumstances you can't control.
The day before this interview was filmed, Ann accepted a full-time position and is excited to start working again. She and her 2 children will be moving out of the shelter in the coming weeks and move into their future home. Ann says the local shelters need items like clothing, children's toys, and diapers for their families that stay there.
The 15-year-old who was shot in Omaha last weekend has died. Shadesha Hill was shot about 2:15 a.m. Saturday at 36 and Lake Streets. Police say the wounded girl arrived in a private vehicle at the CHI Health Clinic at 24th and Cumming Streets. She was then transferred to Creighton University Medical Center, Bergen Mercy, where she was placed on life support to allow doctors to harvest her organs. She died yesterday. On Monday, police arrested 25-year-old Katessa Barnum, who was connected to the shooting. Barnum was booked into jail on suspicion of first-degree assault and a use of a weapon to commit a felony. Hill's death is the 22nd homicide in Omaha this year.
A new online puppy scam has made its way into the Omaha metro area. Online scammers are posting pictures of puppies for sale, accepting payments, but then never delivering the pets. The Better Business Bureau says African scammers are behind these tricks that are costing people thousands of dollars. One Omaha couple has fallen to the scam and had already spent $400 to the seller before realizing they'd been tricked. The online scheme was reported to the BBB and the site was labeled as a scam. If you are searching for a pet, the BBB recommends inspecting the animal in person, visiting the breeder, and paying with their credit card rather than cash. You can also visit the Better Business Bureau website to check the authenticity of the seller.
Omaha is no stranger to a Forbes top 10 list, and being number 7 on the best places to raise a family may have some people thinking about moving here, and that has made Omaha's real estate market a busy place. The Omaha housing market is booming, and that's because it has the components for making a city grow. Omaha, unlike the rest of the country, is not affected by the economy.
Omaha does not experience the highs and the lows of residential real estate, and even in commercial for that matter.
The number one question is when to purchase property, and the answer is now. September through February is the best time to purchase from a buyer.
If you see people put their house in the market during the winter months, they have a motivation to sell it now.
No matter where you are in Omaha, you'll most likely find construction, and that's because the city is constantly expanding, which makes it very easy for potential buyers to find their perfect location.
We're kind of like a new hotspot.
Omaha is ranked number 8 in the Silicon Prairie ranking, making it a popular place for technology, and the real estate market is following suit. Online shopping for houses is becoming extremely popular among buyers.
It just gives them a chance to look on their own without maybe like the pressure of being with somebody trying to sell them a house.
Online or in person, the market is estimated to increase an additional 3% in houses.
If you get in right now, you're going to already have equity in your house in a year.
There's something for every buyer in Omaha, depending on your price range, your lifestyle. Omaha has the real estate for you.
Houses that range from $100,000 to $200,000 usually sell in less than 24 hours, while more expensive homes are on the market for a little longer, waiting for the perfect buyer.
The U.S. Department of Homeland Security is expanding the amount of information that it collects on immigrants to include social media information and search results. The new policy covers immigrants who have obtained a green card and even naturalized citizens and will take effect on October 18th. This will not allow the Department of Homeland Security to collect information about an immigrant's Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook accounts, but it also mentions all search results. It's not yet clear if that means that the agency will have access to things such as Google search histories or how they will obtain that information. The new policy includes 12 points of expansion on what the Department of Homeland Security is allowed to collect.
After the break, a new study shows a rise in tourism that is benefiting every household in the Omaha-Douglas County.
And the Omaha Junior Chamber of Commerce annual 10 Outstanding Young Awards reaches a new applicant high. All this and more when we return.
You've always known you were a leader, someone who works hard to achieve your goals. You can see it. You can see your success in front of you. You pursue a college education for the old-fashioned reasons, to learn, to make yourself more valuable, to succeed. You need a place that celebrates your ambition and positions you alongside visionary people just like you. You, my friend, belong here, the University of Nebraska at Omaha.
I have no idea where I'm at right now. I just really need some help.
Do you need some help?
Yeah. Okay. Library is here.
I heard the word help.
Yeah.
Student ambassadors are here to give a helping hand to anyone on campus. We're also your one-stop stop for tours of UNO's campuses and providing new student orientation so you can register for classes. Find us in the Welcome Center located next to the Weber Fine Arts Building.
The Library Cafe at UNO's Chris Library is the ideal spot to stop in and grab a bite to eat. Order a hot cup of coffee or other drinks. Chat with friends or study.
A little bit about how you're feeling right now. One thing you would like our viewers to know about this state.
The importance of volunteerism.
What are you saying to folks?
I'm here to discuss these images.
When you can take that knowledge and that expertise and that passion in terms that they're all going to understand.
They need to know the real stories.
I'm Kathy Wyatt. Join us for Consider This each week on NET1.
This is the Omaha News.
Omaha has experienced 7 straight years of tourism growth. A study by Tourism Economics shows 12.3 million people visited Omaha in 2016, and they spent about $1.25 billion. That increase in visitor spending resulted in local businesses spending another $700 million in the community, totaling to about $1.9 billion in economic impact annually. This increase in tourism helps save each Douglas County household $730 each year.
Craft breweries are appearing more and more often in Omaha. These businesses may very well be brewing businesses in Omaha. Mitchell Lineman brings us more.
This is a third-year plant now, so you can tell it's got some good growth to it. I'm at Midwest Hop Producers in Plattsmouth, Nebraska, and behind me, this once was a golf course, but now it's been torn apart to grow hops, which is an essential ingredient in making beer. Midwest Hop Producers is a 40-acre farm home to over 10 different hop varieties, and it is the state's leading producers. Owner Bruce Wiles sat down with me to explain why he decided to start growing them.
You know, we were looking for some type of specialty crop. I'm a third-generation farmer, and I wanted to continue that. I had looked at a lot of different types of crops to raise, but I just kept coming back to hops. It was definitely the most challenging.
Bruce and I were two of the few males on the farm that day.
All the plants in the field are females. They do all the work. Males are just used for breeding. It's typical, and usually when I tell people that, they get a little bit of a laugh out of that.
I traveled to Infusion Brewing Company, one of Midwest Hop Producers' clients, to meet with local beer connoisseur and international student advisor at UNO, Connor Willingham, to discuss the effect brewing can have on Omaha.
People from outstate that are flocking here and spending their dollars here. The whole farm-to-table movement across the United States have really put an emphasis on having locally sourced ingredients.
For the Omaha News, I'm Mitchell Linneman.
Midwest Hops Producers is attempting to meet the demand from breweries, which have increased by 15% in 2015.
After more than 1 month of hurricane recovery missions, Nebraska Task Force 1 leader Brad Thavenet is back at his home in Lincoln. Thavenet began his deployment on August 24th, about a week after Hurricane Harvey hit Houston. Thavenet was working alongside a full 80-person team in Houston. After assisting in both Houston and Florida, Thavenet flew to Puerto Rico and the surrounding islands, where he spent about a week helping search and rescue teams through the destruction of the hurricane left. Thavenet says the people in the areas he assisted will likely be struggling for several months. It's possible power will not be restored to some parts of Puerto Rico communities until Christmas. Thavenet said that he would do it all again in a heartbeat after a quick nap.
The Omaha Junior Conference of Commerce annual 10 Outstanding Young American Award, or TOYO, received a new record high of 195 applicants. Reporter Julie Trin begins a series of reports on the most recent woman to win the award.
Omaha in 2017 has a population of roughly 450,000 people. Within those numbers, 10 exceptional Omahans are honored the TOYO Award.
The 10 Outstanding Young Omahans Awards began in 1933. It was originally a Distinguished Service Award given by the Omaha Jaycees.
The award, dating back to 1921, will be honoring its 85th awardees. In order to apply, you must be a young professional, 21 to 40 years of age, with a passion for community service and dedication to your personal and professional development.
Usually they are nominated by a friend or family member, and then they will fill out an application after we reach out to them. We ask them what organizations they have volunteered with, any awards that they've had, special experiences, things that they see for Omaha in the future, visions they want to accomplish, and of course their professional experience.
The Omaha Jaycee has a record number of 195 nominations to review this year. Marketing coordinator at Remax Professionals, Kat Dover, hopes to see the award become more well-known to give people something to strive for.
I think this award is important because it really gives recognition to a lot of people who their work helping the community is behind the scenes, and so they aren't going to get a lot of the recognition that they deserve.
For the Omaha News, this is Julie Trin.
The award ceremony will be held at a banquet in February 2018. After the break, one UNO student is putting his education to the test to help victims of Hurricane Harvey.
And what the Nebraska community is doing to help spread awareness about suicide in the state. Stay with us.
UNO TV invites you to take a journey around the world, to lush jungles with endangered species, to exotic lands and different cultures, to lost cities beneath the sands. Travel through time to see ancient secrets on the other side of the world, the growth of the American West, or the start of Nebraska's largest city. Or just explore our state. Find out about Nebraska in World War II. Learn how Omaha has grown since. Discover the effort to renovate its green spaces, the history of one of its most impressive buildings, or look at its internationally recognized university. For over 20 years, UNO TV has produced award-winning documentaries that explore, educate, and enlighten. To find out more, call 402-554-2516 or visit unotv.unomaha.edu.
The Creative Production Lab is a space for students to express themselves through artistic creation. Whether they want to do something visual, such as using the 3D printer or laser cutter, or if they want to create an audio project in the Whisper Room, the options are endless within the Creative Production Lab.
This is the Omaha News.
Hurricane Harvey has affected more than 100,000 homes and has put more than 30,000 people in emergency shelters. Reporter Zach Miller tells us about one UNO student who has put his education to practice and decided to help.
Rafael Corrales is a senior at the University of Nebraska at Omaha, majoring in emergency management. He recently flew down to Texas to help with relief efforts for Hurricane Harvey and says it is unlike anything he has ever seen.
The rivers and stuff were almost to the road. It was kind of crazy. We did see like auto dealerships that were underwater.
Corrales spent most of his time helping in shelters, first with other volunteers and then with victims. He says seeing what other people had to go through will stick with him forever.
You're trying to help people when they're at the worst spot in their life because they just lost everything and they have to like literally restart everything. They might have to move. They might have to rebuild their house. They might have to live with a family member for a while till they get back on their feet. And when they tell you their story and you try to like comfort them, it's kind of difficult because like you really don't know. I didn't know what to say, I guess.
Corrales says the experience has inspired him to continue in the field and make a difference in the future.
It was so overwhelming because it was such a big disaster and there's so many volunteers that I want to be able to help lead and distribute volunteers to certain places.
Corrales is set to graduate in the spring and encourages others to log on to the Red Cross website and find out how they can help.
If anybody really wants to do what I did and help, all you got to do is sign up with the Red Cross online.
For the Omaha News, I'm Zach Miller.
Thousands of people are still receiving the disastrous effects of Hurricane Harvey, despite being over a month ago. For more information on how to help, visit the Red Cross's website.
On Tuesday, Senate Republicans, short of votes, abandoned their latest and possible final attempt to eliminate the health care law President Obama implemented during his term. Trump and fellow Republicans who vowed to abolish President Barack Obama's law will leave it standing and turn their attention to overhauling the nation's tax code and hope that if they succeed in getting Americans a tax cut, their failure in health care will be forgiven. The health care efforts began to emerge and divide Republicans as they pursued a partisan effort against united Democratic opposition. The split decision could happen on taxes as well. Republicans are at the beginning of the process with plans to unveil a blueprint today.
President Trump and GOP congressional leaders have outlined their plan for the most sweeping overhaul of the federal tax code in more than 3 decades. They're proposing large cuts in both individual and corporate tax rates, saying this will help supercharge the slow-growing economy. On Tuesday, Trump described the proposed overhaul as massive tax cuts that our country desperately needs to thrive, to grow, to prosper. While there are still many details needed, both the House and the Senate GOP leaders have been meeting for several months with the Treasury Secretary and a top White House economic advisor to create a plan they can agree on. Women in Saudi Arabia will be allowed to drive for the first time starting next summer.
The conservative country announced Tuesday a significant expansion of women's rights in the only country that barred women from getting behind the wheel. Women in other Muslim countries have been able to drive themselves for decades, and Saudi banned negatively publicized for years. Neither Islamic law nor Saudi traffic law explicitly prohibited women from driving, but they were not issued licenses and were detained if they attempted to drive. Saudi Arabia's ambassador told Washington letting women drive is a huge step forward and the society is ready. To celebrate Tuesday's decree, several Saudi women posted images on social media deleting their ride-sharing apps, including Lyft and Uber.
Suicide is currently the 10th leading cause of death in the U.S. Unfortunately, this tragedy occurs more often with young adults. Levi Kyle takes us to the Omaha community to see how they are trying to spread awareness.
The month of September has become known nationally as Suicide Prevention Awareness Month, and Nebraska communities are taking part by encouraging everyone to talk about the taboo subject of suicide. Jamie Schmitz, a suicide attempt survivor and mental illness advocate, tries to help those suffering with suicide loss and mental illness through blogging and supporting local organizations.
And it's so simple just to look on Facebook and see where they're doing their events.
Licensed therapist Tina Gunn says that suicide can affect just about anyone.
And I think we need to keep in mind that suicide's across all ages. It's not just a teen problem. Well, it may be one of the number one causes of death among teens.
One of the events, such as the Out of the Darkness Walk to Prevent Suicide, is a way for those affected by suicide loss to talk about their experiences in the hopes of teaching others that it's okay to not be okay.
People become suicidal for multiple reasons, whether it's depression or anxiety, but both victims of depression and health experts agree that talking about suicide and depression is the best treatment.
If you're feeling depressed, it's okay. You know, we don't have to have all these stigmas towards things like that.
Like everybody here together talking about it and sharing everybody's story, and that's the goal, is just to get people to talk about it.
For the Omaha News, I'm Levi Kyle.
If you or anyone you know is feeling depressed or suicidal, contact the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline for a free and confidential support. When we come back, a legendary comic book creator gives back to the victims of recent Hurricane Irma.
And we learn more about a UNO theater production that is incorporating cultures from all around the world.
Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
I knew as a music teacher that there were festivals for piano students and that type of thing going up, but there was no real public recognition of children's achievements in music until they got to be in high school.
I was embarrassed because I was in middle school, but it was interesting because I didn't think I was good at that point, because you're middle school, you're just you could be best in the orchestra, but you're not sure.
I just remember the joy and the giddiness that these students had. They loved coming to the station and having a tour of the station, and it really meant a lot to them to actually have an interview at this radio station, and they were all so excited and so passionate about music.
When I became a classical kid, I got to go to the Gil Shaham concert at the Jazz and Art Museum, and that concert completely changed my life. Being a classical kid really changed the thought of, could I do music professionally? It was really nice winning something like that. It was pretty good.
The classical kids idea was one that stuck because KVNO is all about classical music. It was perfect.
Legendary comic book publisher Stan Lee of Marvel Comics has been creating superheroes for his entire career, and now he's hoping to be one himself for some of the victims of recent Hurricane Irma. The co-creator of the beloved comic book characters including Spider-Man, Iron Man, and Daredevil is going to MegaCon in Tampa, Florida, and is working with organizers of the convention to raise money for the victims of Hurricane Irma. To raise this money, the 94-year-old Lee is auctioning off a one-on-one meal as well as artwork from his personal collection during his panel on Friday. Between the Stanley auction, ticket sales, and fan donations, the convention is hoping to make an estimated $20,000 for hurricane relief.
UNO Theater production of Our Town opens this weekend and is incorporating cultures from all over the world. Omaha News reporter Daniel Meadows brings us more details.
UNO Theater is bringing the world into their upcoming production of Our Town, written in 1937 by Thornton Wilder. Scott Glasser, the director of Our Town, said he decided to shift the production to include different countries.
International studies has grown tremendously in the last 15 years. At UNO in Omaha.
UNO Theater's production of Our Town celebrates diversity by including international choirs.
We have 3 countries that are choirs outside the play. China, Oman, and Japan, and they sing songs from their culture.
Kumiko Adachi is an international student from a sister school in Japan. She plays an ensemble and choir member. Adachi said the script can apply to every culture.
People feel glad, people feel sad, and people get married, people die. So our town refers to whole life.
Our Town explores the cycle of life through characters that reflect universal experiences.
You know, the culture is different on the surface, but underneath it, the human needs and desires, and there are things that we join across the globe.
Our Town opens September 27th in the Weber Fine Arts Building. General tickets are $16, but UNO students get in free with their MAV card. For the Omaha News, I'm Danielle Meadows.
Performances of Our Town starts at 7:30 p.m. and runs from September 27th to October 7th. Tickets are free for UNO students and $16 for the general public.
Bass Pro Shops closed on its $5 billion purchase of Cabela's. The companies announced on Monday this ends Cabela's run as a standalone Nebraska-based business. The combined company's headquarters will be located at Bass Pro's home in Springfield, Missouri. It's unclear what will happen to the employees at Cabela's former headquarters, which is currently in Sidney, Nebraska, a town 6 hours west of Omaha. The company employed as many as 2,000 there in recent years. Bass Pro announced in 2016 that it would buy Cabela's. That began another year of uncertainty as the deal faced several hurdles and was reconstructed to overcome it. The deal received final approval this month. That's it for this week's edition of the Omaha News. Join us next week for all the latest news happening here in Omaha.
And you can find additional stories on our website, theomahanews.wordpress.com. Also follow the Omaha News on Facebook and Twitter at UNO The Omaha News. For all of us at the Omaha News, thanks for watching.
We'll see you next time.
Just feel a sense of camaraderie with fellow veterans, whether they're young, old, from different branches. You know, students are able to exchange their military history and also feel a sense of community here on campus, as well as we do have a quiet study area and a computer lounge with free printing, and as well as free coffee. Thing for people, but for vets, it's pretty important just to come in here and just stop by, say hello.
The University of Nebraska at Omaha is a place for tomorrow's leaders, a place where individuals converge on a path to success, getting the attention and direction they need as they begin their career. It's where students take pride in serving Omaha, a city we've invested in for more than 100 years. UNO is a place where greatness begins. The University of Nebraska at Omaha.